That's a new feature of Zoom, that it says that, just so everyone's aware. All right, we're gonna start the playlist for prenatal, May 2021 in 3, 2, 1, play. Okay, with your blocks and your bolster ready, let's start supported. We're gonna do the Egyptian pillowcase maybe at the beginning and the end. So go ahead and load yourself up, right? Flat block down at the bottom and then propped up block there. Get your bolster. Sneak your glutes close to the edge. Lean yourself back. We can do straight legs for now, and you can even actually start out your legs if that feels okay. And just relax your arms down by your sides. Take a deep breath in. Open mouth, exhale. Again, breathe in through your nose. Open mouth, exhale. Let's try one more together. Breathe in through your nose. Exhale, release out of your mouth. And let your heart sink back into the bolster. Allow your hips to get heavy onto your mat, the ground. Same with your legs, all the way down to your ankles. And same with your arms, all the way down to your hands. The word for the week is trust. Trusting that you are in the right space, that your body can do all the things it needs to. Trusting your own intuition, which will end up guiding you through the rest of the pregnancy and into labor and birth. You can use this practice, this movement practice, to test out your intuition. Notice and find your edges. Make changes if you need to make changes to any positions. And bring that same kind of following of your intuition into your everyday life. Start to tap into that by breathing deeply in and out of your nose. Taking your awareness all the way down into your womb space, where your baby is growing, being nurtured, protected, loved. This is your creation, and you can trust that it's growing as it needs to, that your body can sustain. You can keep your arms where they are. Start to walk your feet in together so that the soles meet with your knees bent. You can put your hands on your hips or your thighs if you need to ground in a little bit more or feel any of those little nooks and crannies. And just play with where your feet are. It might feel actually better to put your feet further away from you, or even prop yourself up with extra set of blocks, or even just your fists underneath your thighs. Notice if you can tap into the awareness of your pelvic floor. From pubic bone back to the tailbone, into the sits bones right and left. When you breathe in, notice how everything in this core canister expands. making room for the lungs. And how when you breathe out, everything naturally comes in towards your center to meet right in the middle at your solar plexus, right below your belly button or at your belly button. Keep channeling your breath and keep your awareness down in your pelvic bowl or at your pelvic floor, just watching. Notice if you feel more energy on either side, left or right, in the hips or up in the pelvis, underneath your hands, or even down into your legs. Take one more breath here. You can use your hands to help guide your thighs back up together. And we'll do the opposite. So walk your feet wide and let your knees close in together. Notice if you feel any tension around the fronts of your hips, or if you actually feel slight stretch on the outer hips. Just being mindful of this mild internal rotation. I want you to feel super stable for these next few rounds. So keep your hands out to the side or anchored into the floor somehow. And let both knees now tip over to the right. Really letting the left knee dive down. It's okay if the left hip pulls up. Notice what you feel deep in the socket of your hip. You can stay right there at the depth, or you can slowly move back through the center and switch sides. Notice if you feel yourself starting to guard anything. See if you can just trust and let gravity or your intuition lead the way. Just move back and forth between both sides. About 2 more times. Check in with your low back, or even the control and your core, your belly connection. Last time to the left is where you'll end. And then take the knees back up. And you can straighten out your legs one more time. Give them a good shake. Okay, go ahead and roll over onto one side. Coming up into a tabletop. Go ahead and scooch your things out of the way, keeping them handy. Okay, stack yourself up, shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees. Let's tuck the toes under. Breathe in and shine your sits bones up towards the sky. Let your belly hammock down if that feels okay, but stay connected to that transverse abdominis. Pull your shoulder blades back, open up your throat into the sky. When you exhale, push into the ground, round your spine as much as you can. Pull your baby, your belly up towards the ceiling. Inhale, drop it back down nice and slow. Full spinal extension if that feels okay. Exhale and round. Just one more time, breathe in, find some openness. Exhale and expansiveness on the backside. Breathe in and come back to neutral. You're going to keep your left hand down. Knees can go a little wider if you like. Inhale, reach your right arm up towards the sky. Circle out your right wrist. And notice if you can feel a stretch in your chest as you reach your arm even further back behind you. Your hips can sway with you to the right. Take one more breath in. Exhale, come all the way down onto the back of your right shoulder. Your head can go to the floor or to the bolster. Your left hand can stay propped by your face to help you rotate. Or you can reach high towards the top end of your mat, or you can reach all the way across your back for your right thigh. One more breath. Then put your left hand back down by your face. Inhale, reach your right arm up to the sky. Find that expansive chest again. Exhale and plant the right hand down. Inhale, left arm goes up. Open up through the elbows, stretch out your wrist. Rolling it around with open hands and closed hands. Breathe in. Breathe out and come all the way down to the back of the left shoulder. Again, right hand can go by your face, elbow towards the sky to help push down into the ground. You can push with a long arm. If you're looking up underneath your armpit, you can take that arm behind you and look for your inner left thigh. Notice what you feel in your inner thighs. Can you pull them slightly together, just with a little energy to help keep you stable? Notice a stretch in your shoulder, your spine. One more breath. Slowly take your right hand back down to the floor. Inhale, reach your left arm to the sky. Exhale and plant that hand down. Walk your knees in. Let's take your blocks at shoulder height. You're gonna walk down onto your elbows and slowly start to walk your knees back. Your arms can stay straight for now, supported by the blocks. Let your chest melt down, forehead to the floor. Feeling into the extension, the chest expansion. I want you to imagine your waistline getting open, finding some length there. And while you're down here, you can channel back into either your pelvic floor or your transverse abdominis. Taking your breath in to find some stretch. Your breath in will help you find something, or your exhale will help you find some engagement. Everything coming to meet in your center. If you want to flavor on with a tricep stretch, bend your elbows, bring your hands into prayer behind your back. You can rub your forehead into the ground if that feels okay on your neck. You can even wag your tail from right to left. Again, noticing the small nooks and crannies, this time in your shoulders and in your spine, your upper back, even around your sits bones. Take one more breath here. Long breath out. Stretch your arms back long. Push down through your elbows to round into your spine and peel your head off. Walk yourself back up, now keeping the blocks in your hands. Just let yourself circle. So with that prop of the blocks, you're able maybe to get your hips down a little lower without hitting the floor. Rounding into the spine, circling out your hips, go ahead and find the other direction. There's some nice lubrication to the hip joints. And stay right in the center. We'll tuck both toes under. And just walk your feet up towards your blocks. You can go as wide as you'd like to find some support. Take a breath in, find a halfway lift. Shift your weight forward into your toes. Breathe out, melt down. Again, one more time, inhale, engage your upper back, pull your shoulder blades down and away from your ears. Exhale and let yourself round. Support it with the blocks underneath your hands. This time, sway your upper body and trust that your feet have you. Your hands have got you. You can relax your head if that feels okay. Slowly melt it back down into the center. Add a soft bend to your knees. You're going to keep your right foot in front. Just step your left foot far back. Lower your knee down to the ground. Make those small adjustments where maybe you crawl the right foot forward or scooch the left knee further back. Stay with your blocks either on the inside of your right foot, or you can stay square if you feel like you still got some room on the side. Settle in. Dive into your pelvis and keep your front shin perpendicular to the floor. With either the back toes tucked under for support, more balance, you could also just flatten the top of the foot down. Feel into the hip flexor on the left side. Come back to a sway if that feels good. Staying heavy in your hips here for maybe 2 more. Come back to stillness. Breathe in and just lift your chest up, your heart up. When you breathe out, keep that extension in your spine, but shift your hips back. You can walk the blocks back with you as you straighten out your right leg, coming into this half split. And breathe in, think long spine, toes up. You can squeeze the quad just to check in with the back of your knee. Breathe out, let yourself melt down. Point your toes down this time. Then breathe in, you can look up, take your toes up. Breathe out, point down, look down. Keep going. Looking up to breathe in. Breathing out to look down. You want to just relax your head. You can move your ankle only for the next 3 breaths. Pull the toes all the way up. Come back onto the highest setting for your blocks. Lower the outer edge of your right foot down and see if you can let your right hip drop down. And then you can kickstand the left foot off your mat if that feels okay. Start to walk your upper body over to the right side. So maybe you already feel this in your outer hip or down your leg or the back side, outer side of your hamstring and calf. If you need a little bit more and your belly's not in the way here, you can lower yourself down until you feel that touch of belly to thigh, getting more sensation on your outer leg. If you want extra sensation, rounding into your upper back may give it to you or it may not. So you can play with that in your own body. Again, following your intuition. Give yourself an extra 2 breaths here, really diving into the outer hips and leg. And I'll have you walk your blocks back to face the front. Okay, you're going to bend into your right knee and walk your foot heel toe over to the left side of your space. Let's bring the heel in closer to your left knee, softly lower onto the outer foot and shin, being really mindful of this diagonal. You can find a pretty solid diagonal here, or you can actively get that external rotation in your hip, like you're trying to shoot your shin forward, coming into your half pigeon. You can stay as heavy in your hips as possible, grabbing the bolster on top of the blocks to make some room for your belly. You can still lay forward if that feels okay. And here you can stay, just feeling into the back of the right hip, or you can play also with kicking your left heel up towards your butt, maybe even reaching back and grabbing for it, if that feels accessible for you. Don't give yourself a hamstring cramp. Follow your intuition there. Maybe this posture for you is about surrendering and softening down rather than actively trying to square off your hips and press your pelvis down to the floor. Just let yourself melt and be. Take 3 more. Make them slow and juicy. Final round. Take your time, crawling yourself up. Scooch any props out of your way. Lean over to your right side and either use the whole strength of your leg or use your hand to sweep your left leg forward. You're going to keep the right foot glued into the inner thigh on your left side. Okay, take a breath in, reach all the way up. Exhale, fold yourself forward for your left side, for your back. Wherever your hands reach, just have a strong grip. Relax your head down. You don't have to pull or force anything here. Main thing is to breathe. Two more breaths. Inhale, stack your spine again, nice and tall. You take your left leg and bend it, bring it over the right as best as you can. Okay, we're gonna try to sneak the thighs nice and close together. So I'll face you here. So my right heel is slid in all the way towards my left glute, and same thing with my right. So left leg is over the right. You can imagine the knees lining up as best as you can. If this doesn't feel great, you can always just take the right leg out from underneath and straighten it there. Okay, but this will feel like a lot on the hips. You could also just prop yourself up on a block, but I do want you to feel like you're rooted down on both sides as best as you can. Okay, take a breath in, open your arms up. Exhale, take your left arm underneath your right, wind up your arms or hold onto your shoulder heads and lift your elbows off of your chest. Send your forearms forward and away from your face. And just breathe into your shoulders, breathe into your hips. So we're doing cow legs with eagle arms. Little funny mixture. Keep pushing and pulling into your arms to help feel that space in your back, around your shoulder blades. And then take a deep breath in, release your arms, reach all the way up to the sky. Exhale and take your right arm down, reach up and over with your left. And flow with it. Inhale, rise back through the center, both arms up. Exhale, left arm down, reach up and over. Feel at your waist. 2 more times each side. Inhale high. Exhale to the right. Staying anchored in your hips, nice and grounded. Breathe in. Exhale, left arm comes down. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, last time to the right. Get your depth there. Inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale, down with the left. Inhale, come back up through the center. Exhale, this time we'll just twist to the left. That way you can use your left leg with your right arm to swivel to the left as best as you can through your upper back. And complete it all the way through your neck by looking over your left shoulder. Relax your shoulders. Soften around your jaw. And breathe in, come back to the middle. Reach up. And exhale and just let the elbows fall back, hands down. You can lean back, unwind your legs. So if you're facing the top end of your mat, you've got room, open up your legs as much as you can. And push your pelvis forward until you feel like you're on top of your sits bones, centered between your, almost your tailbone and your pubic bone. Your pubic bone might feel like it's a little higher, but that's where you can maybe soften your knees or sit yourself up on a block. Okay. Take a breath in and a breath out to hinge at your hips, slowly coming forward. And this is where I'm stopping tonight. Feel into the inner thighs. Notice your knees on the inside. You can give them some hands-on love. You can keep supporting your upper back, lower back with your arms steady. Last breath here. And slowly breathe in, come back up. Take your feet all the way around behind you. So you can shift back onto all fours. Grab your blocks again. And we can step up 1 foot at a time to come onto our feet. Take a breath in, set yourself up for a halfway lift. Exhale and fold. And I think it'll feel good. Bend into your knees, roll all the way up, or use your hands to help prop yourself up. Take a reach overhead. Exhale, hands into your heart space. Just anchor into your feet. You can leave your hands at heart center or put your hands on your belly and your heart, or maybe hands just on the hips. Grounding into your feet once more. Feel the length in your low back, tailbone down, some openness in your hips, the fronts. And trusting that you have stability, you have a sturdiness, a resilience about you. Firm with your own inner knowing. Take your arms all the way down by your sides. Breathe in and reach all the way up. Exhale, hands through your heart space, fold down, reach for the blocks. Keep your left foot forward and slide your right foot back, lower your right knee down. Make small adjustments and tweaks to get into your lunge. Yeah, top of the foot can go down or toes can stay tucked. Hands can frame the foot or hands can go on the inside of the leg. And just get as heavy as you can in your hips where it feels like your hip flexor is finding some sensation, or the back of your left hip. Getting a nice capsule stretch. You can try swaying from right to left. Okay, 2 more. And keeping your heart up, shoulders down. Push into your hands or walk your hands back up to the tallest setting as you straighten out your left leg. You can frame your leg if that feels more stable for you. Okay, try pulling your toes all the way up and look up. Find your long spine as you breathe in. Breathe out and round down, point down in your foot. Take your chin towards your chest. Then keeping your spine folded, breathe in and just look up with your head and pull your toes up. Exhale, point down, look down. Keep going with your inhale for looking up. Exhale, look down, point down. You can keep moving just the ankle. Going slow and steady. Take a few more rounds at your own pace. Next time your toes are up, go ahead and pull your spine long, look up. Okay, point your left toes over to the left side of your space. You can kickstand your right foot off your mat. That feels okay on your knees. Let your left hip dip down so you get this stretch in your outer right hip perhaps. You can keep yourself upright, but start to walk your blocks, your hands and chest over to the left. Just see if you can feel that sensation of your inner thighs touching, reaching for each other so much so that you feel the outer leg on the back side. Imagine the points of your left hip and your left heel reaching in opposite directions. It's like your legs are getting longer here. Channel your breath. Take 2 more here. Lift your spine. Slowly walk your hands back to face the front. You can bring the right leg back so it's not so kickstand. Bend into your left knee and heel toe your foot over to the right. Let your hands get out of the way. And you can keep this hip external rotation happening in your shin, right? Or you can just pull the knee in close towards your midline, softening your shin down. You just don't want to crank on the knee so much. Okay, sweep the right knee back further until your hips feel like they can sink and anchor again. Whether or not you put a block underneath you, that's all well and good. Do what you need to do to support. Okay. You can also just grab your bolster, lift it up on blocks, and lower your chest down. If you've got the room for belly and baby. Practice your softness here. Releasing into gravity, releasing into the trust. Just tracing the outline of the sensation in your mind's eye. Where do you feel this? A few more breaths here. Take a breath in, pick yourself up, shifting your stuff out of the way. Lean over onto your left hip, guide your right leg all the way through and around to the front, readjusting in your pelvis, keeping your left leg as it is. Foot on the inside of your thigh, push down into both of your sits bones and breathe in, reach up. Breathe out, fold forward. Reach for whatever you got. And just let the back of your neck lengthen out. And surrender. Let gravity do some of the work here. Let your breath do some of the work here. Breathe in, stack it up. One vertebrae at a time. You know where we're going next. Take your right leg, you're gonna cross it all the way over your left. You might need to make a couple of adjustments with your ankles, and this one will face you. So you just wanna feel like your hips are between your feet, your ankles, settling in as best as you can on both sides. You can straighten out the left leg if you need to. Okay, sit yourself up tall. Breathe in, open your arms wide like you're about to get somewhat a big hug. Okay, exhale, give yourself a hug, but you can wrap the right arm underneath the left and either hold onto your shoulder heads and feel the stretch in your shoulders, or you can wrap your arms up, lift your elbows off your chest, send your prayer forward, your arms forward to the side. Should look something like that. Your spine gets to stay long and active here, working on your posture. And just take one more. Inhale, release your arms, take them all the way up and out to the sky. Exhale, let's take some side bends. Left arm will go down first, come up and over with that right arm. And inhale, flow with your arms. Exhale, right arm comes down, left hip stays anchored. Inhale, reach up, feel your core connection. Exhale, left arm down. Breathe in, back up to the sky. Exhale, right arm comes down. Inhale, reach up. One more time each side. Exhale, left arm down. Stay anchored in the right. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then breathe in, come back up through the middle, feeling again that solidness in your hips. Let's exhale to twist to the right. Use your left arm to guide you. Relax both of your shoulders down your back. Look over your right shoulder. Feels good on the neck. Last breath here. Inhale and reach back up towards the sky. Feel the length in your waist one more time. Exhale, pull your elbows out wide, hands wide until you can reach back behind you. Open up your legs, plant your feet down, and do the swivel of your legs one more time. Back and forth. And then plant your feet down once. Hands down with the fingers facing out. Roll your shoulder blades back and gently push into your feet. You lift up your hips, squeeze your glutes, get one last hip opener into extension. And check in with your low back, your shoulders. You can keep your chin tucked. That feels better on your throat, your neck. Then slowly lower your hips back down one more time. And grab your blocks. One last setup for your Shavasana. Grab the bolster. So you get to be on an incline. And sneak your hips back towards the end. Lean yourself back, slow, slow, slow. Relax your head down and just check in with what feels good for your legs here. I'm thinking straight legs. Arms out to the side. This as a symbol of, again, trust. Everything's got your back. Your entire body is supported by the earth. You can close down your eyes. And just be in your body, knowing that you can make those changes and shift as needed. Trusting yourself. Mindfully watch your thoughts. Knowing that what you share in your head is being shared with your baby. You can always shift direction in your head too, just as you do in positions with your body on the mat. You can stay here longer if you'd like. Or you can start to deepen your breath, taking in more air and noticing the effect as it ripples out into your hands and your feet. Draw your awareness up your legs, towards your hips, your belly, baby, and your heart. Finding some gratitude for yourself, or even for something else from your day-to-day. Hold on to that gratitude and take your time coming up into a seat. With your spine long, you can keep your arms at your heart space. And just to close out the practice, take a breath in through your nose. And an open mouth exhale. Giving it all back. Thank you so much for showing up. From my heart to yours. Namaste.